Hello, Fabric community. My name is Ryan Majitimer. I'm a product manager on the Fabric team, and welcome to the September 2023 Fabric Monthly Update. Got a lot of exciting features for you this month. We got features in Core, Power BI, Synapse, Data Factory, and Community. Also, before we get there, have you checked out the Fabric community? It's very excellent. There are forums, there's galleries, community blogs. If you have any questions about Fabric, it's a great place to start. I highly recommend you check it out, and you can find it at aka.ms/WAC Fabric Community. Also, if you want to know more about all the features I'm going to talk about today, a little bit of how-to, some screenshots, links to docs, links to other blogs, all sorts of cool stuff like that, I highly recommend you check out our blog. You can find that at aka.ms/WAC Fabric blog. Of course, you can find all these links in the description for this video. Well, without further ado, let's get into it. Starting in Core, we've got Monitoring Hub column options. We've released a new feature inside the Monitoring Hub to better let users customize their experience. Column option gives users more room to operate. Users can select and reorder the columns that meet their scene according to their customized needs. Regardless of whether the user switches to any other tool or scene in Fabric, these column options are persisted along with the filter until the user returns again. Moving on to OneLake. For OneLake File Explorer v1.0.10, we've got menu option to view workspaces and items online. We're excited to announce the new release of OneLake File Explorer for Windows. You can seamlessly transition between using the OneLake File Explorer app and the Fabric web portal. When browsing data in OneLake File Explorer, right-click on a workspace and select OneLake, View Workspace Online. Selecting this will open the workspace browser on the Fabric web portal. Similarly for items within your workspace. In addition, you can now easily find your client-side logs, which you may need to troubleshoot issues. Right-click on the OneLake icon in the Windows notification area, select Diagnostic Operations, and then open Logs directory. Moving on to Power BI. Starting with a general update for desktop, upgrade Power BI Desktop.NET Framework to 4.7.2 or newer. Power BI Desktop with .NET Framework 4.5 will no longer be supported after September 30th, 2023. Please upgrade to .NET Framework 4.7.2 or newer to avoid any support issues. Moving on to reporting, Mobile Layout Interactive Canvas. With the latest update, we're happy to announce that we've made the mobile canvas interactive. This new capability provides the ability to test how buttons, slicers, and visuals will behave on the app before publishing the report. But that's not all. With this canvas interactivity, users can now interact with visuals directly and adjust table and matrix column headers to align perfectly with mobile screens. I'm going to hand it off to Michal for a quick demo.
Hi! With this latest update, we are happy to announce that we have made the mobile canvas interactive. This new capability allows you to preview and test your mobile report design before they are published. Let's see how it works. First, notice how you can now select the data points, scroll within the visual, and you can also interact with buttons to test them just like you will do in desktop layout. And there is more to explore. Thanks to the canvas interactivity, you can now adjust table and metrics column header to fit the mobile screen perfectly. With the new interactive capabilities, you can now test how buttons, slicer, and visuals will behave on the mobile app and ensure that your mobile report will fit mobile screens. You are invited to explore this new capability and, as always, to share your feedback with us. Thank you.
Thanks, Michal. Moving on to modeling. Edit your data model in the Power BI service. Updates. The new data model editing in the service feature was released to preview in April. We've been busy reacting to your feedback and enhancing the experience. Below are the improvements coming later this month. Improvement to layouts limitations. Changes you make to layouts will now persist between desktop and the service, including changes made to data model layouts in desktop will now be incorporated into the service upon uploading the PBIX file. Similarly, changes made to layouts in the data model within the service will now be incorporated into the desktop upon downloading the PBIX file. Edit linguistic relationships in Q&A setup. The Q&A visual is an effective way to help users further understand their data by asking questions and receiving answers in the form of visuals. It offers users a way to explore their data in ways not covered by the rest of the report without requiring deeper knowledge of their data model or reporting authoring. While the Q&A engine is good at answering precise questions about data, it may not be able to associate every word or phrase a user inputs with data in the model. For example, answering what are the best consoles this year may require connecting the term consoles to the name products in the model and understanding that the term best corresponds to the highest sales values. These terms are contextual, however. Users could mean something completely different asking for console and best in other industries, organizations, or even data sets. To help authors ensure that the Q&A visual provides consistent and accurate answers based on the unique language their report consumers actually use, we introduced Q&A setup tools with an emphasis on providing Q&A with synonyms for column and table names in the model. This way, authors can explicitly define console as referring to products, and users will always receive the correct answers when they ask similar questions in the future. However, synonyms, nouns, are only half the picture. The other half of the terms, adjectives, verbs, prepositions, and adverbs, can't be defined with such straightforward mappings because they must be understood as part of a phrase. They qualify other terms or relate other terms together. Best, in the previous example, is one. Asking who sold the most books requires us to know that stores sell books, connecting stores to books. DAX function changes to minx and maxx. We've added an optional variant parameter to minx and maxx DAX functions. These functions ignore text and Boolean values when there are variants or mixed data types such as text and numeric. Now, with the new optional variant parameter set to true, the functions will consider the text values. Edit relationships in the property pane is now GA. We're excited to announce the general availability of the Edit relationships in the property pane. The Edit relationships in the properties pane has been available for public preview since October 2022. Now you can click on any relationship line in the modeling to edit your relationship in the properties pane. This is available in the model view of the Power BI desktop and in web modeling of the Power BI service. Edit relationships without running queries to preview the data and only validating the relationship when you click Apply Changes. A welcome relief for those using direct query storage mode, as these queries can take time and impact your data sources. Moving on to data connectivity, we have two updates. First is an update to the SAP HANA connector. The update enhances the SAP HANA connector with the capability to consume HANA calculation views deployed in SAP Datasphere by taking into account SAP Datasphere's additional security concepts. This enables consumption of calculation views in Datasphere and allows customers to connect to HANA Cloud views without the need for additional privileges on the SysBI schema. Next is a new connector for Amplify metrics. we're happy to announce the release of the new Amplify Metrics connector. Here are a few notes from the Amplify team. Integrating social media insights along the rest of your marketing or business intelligence data gives you a holistic understanding of your entire digital strategy all in one place. With Amplify Power BI connector, you'll be able to include social media data from the Amplify platform in your charts and graphs and combine them with your other data you own. The Power BI connector is a layer between Amplify Public API and Power BI itself. It helps you work with your data intuitively, directly in the Power BI tool. The majority of the data and metrics available in Amplify Public API are also available in the connector. Moving on to the service, we have row-level security test as role improvements. We've listened to your feedback about the row-level security test as role experience in the service and have made several improvements this month, including we've added a new drop-down allowing you to choose and test any report connected to the dataset. You can now easily see important permissions details pertaining to a specific individual while role testing for that person. And also, we've improved our warning and error messages. Moving on to mobile, supporting AAD shared device mode, preview. We continue to invest in empowering frontline workers with data and insights in their work. And in this month's release, the Power BI mobile apps added support in Azure Active Directory shared device mode. Shared device mode enables you to configure devices to be shared by a group of employees. This is very common for frontline workers who do not use their personal device for work-related tasks, but are getting a work-related mobile device from a shared pool of devices for these tasks. The shared device mode enables single sign-on, SSO, and device-wide sign-on for Microsoft Power BI and all other apps that support shared device mode. Once a user signs in into a supported app, the user will be logged into any application compatible with shared device mode as well. Once a user signs out of a supported app, all other applications integrated with shared device mode sign out to prevent unauthorized or unintended access by the next user. For developers, we've got several features for Git integration. Starting with, paginated reports are now supported with Git integration. Since Git integration has been launched a few months ago, we've supported only 2 in Power BI reports, and Power BI datasets. We're now excited to add a new item, paginated reports. After connecting your workspace to Azure DevOps, you can commit your paginated reports and have them versioned in your repository. After that, you can open the RDL files directly from Git in Power BI Report Builder, edit, and publish the changes into Git. The workspace will identify the changes and will prompt developers to update the workspace with the changes to the paginated report. Check out and switch branches in a workspace. A workspace can connect to a single branch at a time. Once you've set up your separate workspace to work with Git, there might be scenarios where you want to change just the connection of a branch. We've now added 2 new features to help you achieve this much faster. Checkout branch. Checkout allows you to easily create a new branch based on the current state of the workspace. And switch branch. Workspace admins can decide to change the connection of the branch very easily. Moving on, we have new E2E CI/CD tutorial now available. Many users have been asking since the release of Git integration how to work with deployment pipelines in Git as part of a CI/CD process. These 2 features can help build a compelling E2E flow when connected properly. We've got a step-by-step guide. Head over to the blog to find a link. In visuals, we've got new visuals in the app source. These include change chart, pro circle card by devlip funnels, apex milestone trend, dot chart, activity gauge by PowerViz, bridger visual by BI Samurai, number lines by BI Champ, funnel chart by PowerViz, date picker by PowerViz, bar chart with export data feature, word cloud by PowerViz, packed bubble chart, Box Plotly by Devlip Funnels, Leaplytics, Markdown Viewer, and App Plan Data Input Table. Moving on to B-Swarm Chart. B-Swarm Chart shows the distribution of data along one axis or both axes while also showing individual points. It's like a one-dimensional or two-dimensional scatter plot, but with closely packed, non-overlapping points. This chart can be used in three ways: y-axis only, x-axis only, and scatter plot, both y and x-axes. Next is explore time-based data down to each millisecond with Drill Down Time Series Pro. Drill Down Time Series Pro lets you create time series charts that easily let you explore on any device. Using its intuitive interactions, users can drill down to months, days, or hours by clicking on the chart. Combine up to 12 series and choose between multiple charts, line, column, and area. The main features include on-chart interactions, pan, zoom, and drill down, full customizations, set intervals, min-max values, colors, fonts, stacking, and clustering, static and dynamic thresholds, set up to 4 thresholds to demonstrate KPIs, cross-chart filtering, select data points on multiple charts instead of using slicers, and touch device friendly. Explore your data anywhere. Next is new updates for ACO Planning, Release 75. ACO Planning for Power BI empowers business users with write-back capabilities, advanced planning, forecasting, budgeting, project management, and analysis solutions. There's some new and exciting features with this release: custom calculated rows and columns configuration, end-user lock cells, hide rows and columns, as well as a range of new features and improvements designed to increase your productivity, including the navigation has undergone a major overhaul, better API error message handling in the grid, and support for automatically expanding all rows, columns, or both, eliminating the need to manually adjust the size of each cell. Zebra BI charts on visual settings. Zebra BI visuals for Power BI are taking another step further to make the user experience as seamless and interactive as possible. Zebra BI charts have received some important updates so that you save time while customizing your visuals. Thanks to the on visual settings, you don't need to go to the visualizations pane every time you want to make a change. We've got the comment setting. It can now be adjusted directly in the visual by simply clicking on the settings icon next to the comment box. The category settings lets you adjust several settings by just clicking on the category area. The legend settings comes in handy when you want to rename the entries and don't want to search for this option in the formatting pane. And stacked charts settings on the visual let you adjust the top end feature, set the color of the chart, and display labels as percentages. Word Cloud by PowerViz. PowerViz is excited to announce the new Word Cloud by PowerViz. It's an advanced visual which empowers you to create some of the most high quality and creative word art in Power BI. The key features are word styling, make your word clouds pop with personalized text styles, color options, choose from 30 plus color palettes including colorblind safe options, shapes, want to make a statement? Create captivating word clouds by choosing shapes from icons and images or upload your own image. Exclude. No more hassles anymore. Easily remove unwanted words, symbols from the text to create a clean and focused word cloud. Ranking. Filter out top or bottom end words. Conditional formatting. Easily spot words with dynamic rules. There's many other features including lasso, reverse lasso, grid view, show condition, and accessibility support. InnoFalls Charts, a versatile and interactive visual. InnoFalls Charts is a powerful visual that offers a wide range of interactive features. The bar and waterfall charts come with a drill down history, enabling orientation and facilitating comparisons. All charts can be stacked or grouped into columns. We've got waterfalls, are Their special attention to waterfalls includes running totals and delta waterfalls, enabling effective comparisons of measures or members. The waterfalls are expandable, drillable, stackable, and offer intermediate sums. Drill down history. Keep track of your drill downs with visual feedback. Change your drill downs retroactively and combine multiple drill downs for in-depth exploration. New comparison features. Effortlessly make comparisons while viewing your report and incorporate deviation charts with a single click. Interactivity. Enjoy various interactive features such as drill, expand, undo, redo, dynamic comparisons, and zoom for enhanced data exploration. IBCS formatting. Our IBCS theme provides a scenario formatting, equal scaling, highlights, deviations, and more for consistent and standardized reports. And animations enhance data comprehension and reduce change blindness with animations. Promptly detect resorted or added data elements. Next up, we've got Hierarchy Chart by Mac Software. Struggling to visualize complex hierarchical relationships? Improve understanding and decision-making with the Hierarchy Chart by Mac Software. In today's data-driven environment, visualizing hierarchical relationships is key to business insights and decision-making. From sales structures to budget allocations, our Power BI Verified Visual offers a customizable way to represent these structures easily, catering to various business needs. The key features include color code cards using a legend, adjust card, i.e. a box, size, borders, and corners, customize the appearance of the links with connecting each card, interact with cards to control levels and cross-filter visuals, and zoom and reposition the visual with ease. And last but not least, we have Power BI JSON Report Theme Generator by BIBB. BIBB recently released its take on the Power BI Theme Generator, aiming to streamline the theming process for users. This tool offers a user-friendly interface, allowing for an easy selection of colors and generation of JSON themes. Within BIBB's generator, users can choose colors in various ways, from manual selection to trending combinations and even importing images or external sources like colors. Moving on to Synapse and Data Warehouse. Data Warehouse Utilization Reporting in Fabric Metrics app. We're excited to announce that compute utilization reporting for Data Warehouse and SQL endpoints are now available in public preview for Microsoft Fabric across all regions. In the capacity-based SaaS world of Microsoft Fabric, customers can purchase a Fabric SKU and get entitled to a set of capacity units, or CU. Various workloads, including data warehouse, consume capacity units based on usage. The Fabric Metrics app provides you visibility into capacity usage for all Fabric workloads, including data warehouse, in one place. It's used by capacity or SQL warehouse admins to identify CU usage trends across warehouse items within a capacity, monitor overload information, and understand the cost of running operations, which leads to informed capacity sizing decisions. Moving on to column-level security for data warehouse and SQL endpoints, we're excited to announce that column-level security is now available on data warehouse and SQL endpoints. Column-level security simplifies the design and coding of security in your application, allowing you to restrict column access to protect sensitive data. For example, ensuring that specific users can access only certain columns of a table pertinent to their department. The access restriction logic is located in the database tier rather than away from the data in another application tier. The database applies the access restrictions every time data access is attempted at any tier. This restriction makes your security more reliable and robust by reducing the surface area of your overall security system. In addition, column-level security also eliminates the need for introducing views to filter out columns for imposing access restrictions on users. Data warehouse row-level security. We're thrilled to announce that row-level security is now available in Fabric Warehouse and SQL endpoints. Row-level security enables you to use group membership or execution context to control access to rows in a database table. Row-level security, or RLS, simplifies the design and coding of security in your application. RLS helps you implement restrictions on data row access. For example, you can ensure that workers access only those data rows that are pertinent to their department. Another example is to restrict customers' data access to only the data relevant to the company. The access restriction logic is in the database tier rather than away from the data in another application tier. The database system applies to the access restrictions every time that data is attempted by any tier. This makes your security system more reliable and robust by reducing the surface area of your security system. So, to recap those two features, if you're unfamiliar, essentially we now enable you to have control from two dimensions, rows or columns. Moving on to SQL project support for Fabric Data Warehouse. We're excited to announce Fabric Data Warehouse as a supported target platform in the SQL Database Projects extension available inside Azure Data Studio. SQL Database Projects for Azure Data Studio provide a way to design, edit, and publish schemas for SQL databases from a source-controlled project. This is a complete development workflow, build, and deployment of your database projects in CI/CD pipelines, such as GitHub Actions or Azure DevOps. A SQL project is a local representation of SQL objects that comprise the schema for a single database, such as tables, stored procedures, or functions. Use the SQL database projects to extract, publish warehouse schemas directly from and to Fabric Data Warehouse. Other compatible databases include SQL Server, Azure SQL Database, Azure SQL Managed Instance, and Azure Synapse SQL, both serverless and dedicated. Next is deployment pipelines. In today's world, analytics is a vital part of decision-making in almost every organization. Fabric's deployment pipelines tool provides BI creators with a production environment where they can collaborate to manage the life cycle of organizational content. Deployment pipelines enable creators to develop and test content in the service before it reaches users. Supported content types include reports, paginated reports, dashboards, datasets, data flows, notebooks, and now warehouses. The deployment process lets you clone content from one stage in the deployment pipeline to another, typically from development to test and from test to production. The connections between the copied items are kept during the copy process as well. In addition, Fabric applies the configured deployment rules to the updated content in the target stage. You can also deploy content programmatically using the deployment pipeline's REST APIs. Default dataset improvements. We've released some new capabilities to enhance the default dataset experience. 1. Turn off automatically adding new objects to the default dataset. Navigate to the warehouse artifact setting to toggle this on and off. And 2. Updates to the Manage Default Dataset dialog in the model view. A. Filter by schema, or B. Filter by object, table, or view. Moving on to data engineering, we have VS Code integration. The Synapse VS Code extension empowers users to develop their notebook artifacts directly within the VS Code environment. Once users download the IPYNB file to their local desktop, they gain the flexibility to edit, debug, and execute their notebook code locally. Furthermore, they can have the option to select the kernel provided by the extension to execute and debug their notebook's code on the remote Fabric Spark compute. Next is Import Notebook in Workspace View. We're excited to announce that we now have the Import Notebook option, and it's very easy. Just go to Workspace, New, Import Item. You can easily import one or more files. We've got support for IPYNB, PY, SQL, Scala, and R file formats. Next is MS Spark Util's new API for fast data copy. We now support a new method in MS Spark Utils that can enable a large volume of data move and copy much faster. And that is mssparkutils.fs.fastcp. You can use mssparkutils.fs.help, and then in parentheses, fastcp, in quotes of course, to check the detailed usage. According to our very sophisticated benchmark testing, we've achieved anywhere between 7x and 180x speedup, and that varies based on the source type, data size, regions, all that kind of stuff. And that's compared to the traditional file system copy method, MS Spark Utils, FS, CP. Next, we've got support diff versions when saving a notebook. We now support viewing and comparing the differences between two versions of the same notebook when there are saving conflicts. This is particularly useful when you have more than one user that's working on the same notebook instance via different clients. Notebook sharing with execute-only mode. Fabric Notebook now supports checking the run operations separately when sharing a notebook. If you just select the run operation, the recipient would see an execution-only notebook after opening the item. With the execution-only mode, you can easily spread your notebook without worrying about someone else messing up the contents, while the recipients can still run the cells. Next, we've got Notebook Resources, WHL file support. We now support uploading the WHL files in the Notebook Resources Explorer. You can put your own compiled libs here, use drag and drop code snippets to install them in this session, and import the libraries and code very conveniently. Moving on to real-time analytics, we've got OneLake shortcut to Delta tables from KQLDB. Now you can create a shortcut from a KQLDB to Delta tables in OneLake, allowing in-place data queries. With this enhancement, you can effortlessly query Delta tables in your lakehouse or warehouses directly from a KQLDB. Next, we have real-time data sharing. A database shortcut in real-time analytics is an embedded reference with a KQL database to a source database in Azure's Data Explorer, allowing in-place data sharing. The behavior exhibited by the database shortcuts is similar to that of a follower database. If you're familiar with a data provider hosting data in Azure Data Explorer and want to share this data with consumers in Microsoft Fabric, you can create a database shortcut. Database shortcuts enable sharing in real time with no need to build or maintain a data pipeline. All database changes, including schema and data, on the provider side are instantly available on the consumer side. And then you can consume the data in Microsoft Fabric using a KQL query set, PBI, notebooks, etc. very easily. Moving on to Sample Gallery. Real-time analytics now offers a comprehensive sample gallery with multiple datasets allowing you to explore, learn, and get started quickly. Selecting a sample in real-time analytics automatically creates a KQL database with data and pre-written KQL query set from any of the 6 sample datasets. This will let users get started with KQL databases and KQL query set without the hassle of creating a database, finding the right real-time dataset, ingesting data, or writing queries. Moving on, we've got modeling query data as graphs using Cousteau query language. We're excited to share with you a new public preview feature of Cousteau query language that allows you to model and query data as graphs. Graphs are useful for representing complex and dynamic data that involves many-to-many hierarchical or networked relationships, such as a social network, recommendation systems, connected assets, or knowledge graphs. By using KQL with graph semantics, you get the speed and scale of KQL queries with the flexibility and expressiveness of graphs. I'm going to hand it over to Henning for a quick demo.
Welcome to this video about the new graph feature in the Gusto query language, which is now in public preview. In this video, you'll learn what graph semantics are, how they work, and why you should use them to contextualize your data in Fabric real-time analytics. This feature is available wherever you can use KQL. Graphs are a powerful way to model and query connected data like social networks, recommendation systems, or connected assets. For example, the following graph illustrates a social network that consists of 4 nodes and 3 edges. Each node has a property for its name, such as Bob, and each edge has a property for its type, such as reports to. Graph queries can use the graph structure and meaning to do complex and powerful operations, such as finding paths, patterns, or shortest distances. The public preview consists of 4 operators to create and query graphs from tabular expressions in Gusto. The underlying engine is leveraging an in-memory property graph and allows the usage of existing scalar operators. There are several reasons to use this new feature. You can use the graph match operator to define hops of variable length, which is useful when relationship distance isn't fixed. Time-aware graphs are a unique feature of graph semantics in KQL that allow users to model graph data as a series of graph manipulation events over time. Last but not least, a small example. There was a recent drop in the operational efficiency of a factory. The factory manager wants to analyze equipment performance combined with maintenance staff hierarchy using graph semantics. The KQL query is creating the graph during query time and found a tag that had an anomaly which led to a malfunction in a pump. This asset was operated by Eve, which reported to Mallory on that day. Now the factory manager can reach out to the operators to get more information about the incident. If you want to know more about this feature, please have a look at our documentation. I'm looking forward to your feedback. Thanks.
Thanks, Henning. Moving on, we have easily connect to KQL database from Power BI Desktop. Power BI Desktop just released new ways to easily connect to a KQL database. There are 2 ways to easily locate your KQL database. 1, open the Get Data dialog and then select Microsoft Fabric from the menu. Then select KQL database from the list. And option 2, open the OneLake Data Hub dialog from the main ribbon. Select KQL databases from the list. I'm going to hand it over to Danny for a quick demo.
Hello everyone, my name is Danny Hotter. I'm from the PM team of the Fabric RTA. And in this video I want to show you how to connect to a database that you created in Fabric, a KQL database from Power BI Desktop. So we have 2 entry points which were added recently. Here you can see one entry point is where you see here OneLake Data Hub. And here you see different objects from Fabric. One of them is a KQL database. When I click on it, I will see a list of all the databases that I have access to. One of them is called, let's say, Happy Path. I'm connected to it. And I will be I will see a list of all the tables and functions in this database. You see here, and from here I can connect to a function or to a table, and then I can continue working as normal with Power BI. I can do it multiple times to creating multiple tables, create relationships, and so on in a normal way in Power BI. Another entry point which is similar is from here, Get Data More. We see that the categories we have of sources. One of the categories, the new one, is Microsoft Fabric. Here again I see the same types of objects. Again, KQL databases, connect, and from here it looks exactly the same. So from those 2 entry points, you can get directly to your databases You don't need to input URI of the cluster. It's just a list of databases that you have or that someone shared with you, and you can work them in Power BI Desktop. Thank you.
Thanks, Danny. Event Stream now supports AMQP format connection string for data ingestion. AMQP stands for Advanced Messaging Querying Protocol, is a protocol that supports a wide range of messaging patterns. It's a widely used communication protocol that facilitates efficient and reliable communication among IoT devices and systems. Now, with Event Stream, you can create a custom app source or destination and select AMQP format connection string for ingesting data into Fabric or consuming data from Fabric. Next, EventStream supports data ingestion from Azure IoT Hub. Azure IoT Hub is a cloud-hosted solution that provides secure communication channels for sending and receiving data from IoT devices. With EventStream, you can easily stream your Azure IoT Hub data into Fabric and perform real-time processing before storing it in Kusto Database or Lakehouse. Improved EventStream creation speed. In response to user feedback, we've made significant improvements to the event stream creation, enabling you to create an event stream item in seconds. Setting up your event stream is now faster and smoother than ever before. These improvements save you valuable time and allow you to ingest and transform your data streams more efficiently. Moving on to Data Factory and Data Pipeline, the Outlook email and Teams activities in Data Factory pipelines can now be used in collaborative, shared pipeline. New pipeline activities are now available as well. You've used the custom activity type in ADF pipelines in the past. You'll be very familiar with the new Azure Batch activity in Fabric data pipelines. This will allow you to execute custom executables from Azure Batch for powerful pipeline workflows. We've also enabled Azure Functions and KQL scripts as activities in Fabric pipelines. We've also updated the pipeline output monitoring view to focus on simplification, easily representing pipeline run status with customizable output layouts. I'm going to hand it over to Noel to talk through these updates.
Microsoft Fabric data integration provides best-in-class capabilities for data ingestion, transformation, orchestration, and replication, enabling all users ranging from citizen to pro to meet their data integration needs. This month, we've continued to add new activities to expand orchestration capabilities in Data Factory. Now users can make use of the Azure Function and Azure Batch activities in their data pipelines, in addition to the existing 20+ activities. Let's see some more updates in action. The lookup activity now connects to Fabric Lakehouse, Data Warehouse, and KQL database, making it easier for users to work with other Fabric artifacts to read or look up records, table names, and other values to use in downstream activities. Let's look up a value and set it as a new variable. In the Set Variable activity, we can easily create new variables with a simple click. We've also added advanced settings called Secure Input and Secure Output, which has been asked for by many customers. With the click of a button, users can choose to hide sensitive information from being captured in logs. Now that I've set a variable, I can use it in my copy activity. We've added 2 new file connectors, FTP and SFTP, adding to the existing 30+ connectors so that users can continue to retrieve their data from a variety of data stores. In the copy activity, you can also check the schema mappings and make quick edits if need be. Now let's run this pipeline. Looks like it ran successfully. My data pipeline was able to look up a value from my data warehouse, set it as a variable, and use that value in my copy activity to only copy specific data. And I received a message in my Teams channel letting me know that my pipeline ran.
Thanks, Noel. Moving on to Dataflow Gen 2, we have new Service Principal authentication kind. Service Principal has been added as an authentication type for a set of data sources that can be used in Dataset, Dataflow, Dataflow Gen 2, and Datamart. Azure Service Principal is a security identity that is application-based and can be assigned permissions to access your data sources. Service principals are used to safely connect to data without a user identity. Supported data sources include Azure Synapse Analytics, Azure SQL Database, Azure Database Lake Gen 2, Azure Data Lake, Azure Blob Storage, Web, Dataverse, and SharePoint Online. Note, Service Principal is not supported on the on-premises Data Gateway and Virtual Network Data Gateway. Support is planned by the end of 2023. Moving on, we've got some bug fixes and reliability improvements. We continue to listen to your feedback, and we're actively working on making strategic fixes and quality improvements to our service. The following is a short list of the most impactful changes that we've delivered over the past couple weeks. Revert changes for the limit of 50 queries per data flow. In our previous monthly update, we implemented a limit to the number of queries that a data flow could have. We've reverted this limit until further notice due to a number of undesired experiences created, but we will reintroduce the limit again in the near future. We've got multiple fixes and improvements to common error messages and scenario. Thanks to multiple customers who have reached out to us through our support system and our community forum, we've been able to address several common issues and improve the error messages that were quite frequent. Some of the errors that have been fixed or modified to improve more descriptive information are: the current row is too large to write. We cannot convert the value null to type table. And data flow refresh transaction failed with the status failed. Moving on to community, we have new learning path, implement a lakehouse with Microsoft Fabric. We've released a new learning path that introduces the foundational components of implementing a data lakehouse with Microsoft Fabric. The new learning path explores the capabilities of Apache Spark for distributed data processing and data management, working with the Delta Lake tables. It also covers data ingestion and orchestration with Data Factory pipelines and Data Flows Gen 2, and how to organize a lakehouse using the medallion architecture. The learning path includes concepts and hands-on exercises that will prepare you to work with lakehouses in Microsoft Fabric. Well, that's all we have for you for this month. Let us know in the comments, what was your favorite feature this month? Also, let us know, do you have any feedback for these videos? Do you have feedbacks on the blog? Anything like that, I'd love to hear about it. If you have any other feedback, I would also love to hear about it. But, I know I mentioned this before, but have you checked out the Fabric community site? I highly recommend it. Link in the description, of course. As always, my name is Ryan Majitimer. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.